Welcome to the Matrix. You're one of the pioneers of this big trend. I'm offering you the time dilation theory, a brand new trading methodology revealing all the secrets in the financial markets. Unlock your true potential with TDT and escape the Matrix. Welcome, Neo. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the principles of time dilation theory. We study time dilation theory in three subtopics: time expansion, time contraction, and time distortion. As we mentioned in the introduction video, everything begins to understand the universe and vibration. Thus, let me quickly remind you about the relationship between space and time. Time is being contracted by the gravitational mass field. The closer we're to this field, the more time is contracted. Time expands, and we observe many phenomena with a beautiful harmony in the universe when the opposite of this occur. I'm going to show you a video where harmony and chaos is demonstrated with the balls hanging on the strings of different lengths, and this video should make you think about how time flows. In between these phases, harmony to chaos, and chaos to harmony. So time distortion to time expansion, or expansion to distortion, vice versa. Here's the start. Now it's about to shift to chaos. Watch carefully. Pay attention to what's happening inside of the chaos after a certain time. Doesn't it look like as if there are some harmonies inside the chaos? Watch carefully, Neo. We're about to shift to harmony once again. And the perfect harmony very soon. Every ball can be considered as time frames. I think you found it beautiful, right? Now I want you to think, this is the most basic and best demonstration to understand how universe works. Chaos to harmony, harmony to chaos. Remember, there are also harmonies and chaoses inside of any chaos or harmony. Every phase has a starting and ending time, but they always flash you a signal. When it's about get shifted, did you see that flash, Neo? Surprising, isn't it? This is the moment I wanted you to focus, Neo. After a certain time in the chaos through to next harmony, we observe grouping in between the balls. This is another harmony, like an inception. Remember, I told you that these balls can be considered as time frames. While some of time frames are distorted or contracted, others are expanded, where the harmony is beautifully seen. This is exactly why the universe is a system that has transitions within it and works in complete harmony. Chaos is actually a harmony, but humans like to call these things as chaos because they cannot fully explain. However, people to whom God has revealed himself can be aware of these fine details. Let's get back to where we had started. Things have been talked about so far is directly linked to the financial markets. Consolidations are the chaos, expansions, and reversals are the harmony, Neo. You will have taken the first step, Neo, if you approach the markets this way. Here's the most basic sequence you can face in every aspect of your life. It's n power n minus 1, where we get 1, 3, 7, 13, 21, 31, and so on. These numbers also represent the breakthrough moments in your life, in terms of your age. Some of the constituents of this sequence are quite close to Fibonacci numbers, yet I kindly remind you that the markets are actually controlled by people, although the universe and the vibration have a significant effect on the markets. I want to draw your attention to something neo. 4, 5, and 9, 11 and 17. 25 are the numbers for the special case, where these sequences are hastened and delayed. This phenomenon occurs when the time is contracted or distorted. But this sequence perfectly works as the time expands in our lives. I would like to show you more examples in various things in our lives before talking to you about how this sequence is formed on the charts. Tree leaves and tomatoes are my favorites to count. I think I have counted over 2,000 tomatoes and leaves so far. Leaves usually have 12 veins in total, 6 on the left and 6 on the right. More than 90% of leaves have 13 veins in total, including the middle vein. You will rarely see 12 or 14 veins. If you look at the divisions between the veins, you will see 14, 7 on the left, and 7 on the right. When we come to tomatoes, we see that they have 7 or 8 seeds on each side. Most of the time you will see 7 seeds per side. You will rarely see 6 or 8. However, in larger tomato varieties, you will often see 9 seeds. In both large and multi-seeded tomatoes, you will see either 12 or 13 seeds. In fact, 90% of them have 13 seeds. Very few of them have 12. We have finally landed the moment that everyone has been eagerly waiting for: charts and trading. As you can see on the weekly time frame of gold, I have made certain markings on the chart. We are counting the candles here, so why? With everything I have explained so far, we are applying the perspective we have gained to the charts and counting the candles. I don't know if you are still seeing things based on your old habits when you look at this chart. However, when I look at this chart, I see the universe, the God, sequences, and vibrations. Don't worry, Neo. I will teach you too. You will benefit from my great knowledge. All you have to do is resigning yourself to me. Now let's take a closer look at my markings on the chart. You see that my counting between the 2 red arrows is from 1 to 20. The market is expanding in 20 weeks, then it shifts to another phase. You can also see that the price is perfectly delivered to upside in this 20-week period, because these 20 weeks are a week of expansion of time axis. Except for a few weeks, time is almost never distorted and contracted here. And we see 30 weeks of retracement over here. Price made the dip at exactly 31st week. This 30-week retracement wasn't perfectly delivered compared to the initial 20-week expansion. Time had been distorted and contracted more than it had been expanded. And let's look at this new price leg, where the initial expansion had been occurred in 13 weeks, then it went consolidations until 31st week. Why? Could you please think about it for a minute, Neo? Do you remember this image? Does it make sense to you right now? Because there is a very different sequence on the higher time frame, and this sequence has a great effect on the lower time frame sequences here. With this phenomenon, the sequence on the lower time frame can be delayed or hastened. As it seems here, it's delayed and went consolidation afterwards, until higher time frame sequence hits the important number in its current sequence. Now everything should make more sense to you as we go through to monthly chart, and you realize how higher time frame has a significant effect on lower time frame in terms of time expansion, contraction, and distortion. Weekly chart had to get distorted while waiting to align with higher time frame until higher time frame hits the significant number in terms of its current sequence. This is Goldmine Neo. And we see that we can start counting again for the weekly time frame from where the 21st monthly candle created the high. By counting from different time frames, we can clearly see that time is fractal, just like the price. While we are approaching to a significant number in any higher time frame, we can clearly realize if we are close to a chaos or a harmony in lower time frames. If you can learn to look at the markets from this perspective, and as similar to this one, nothing will ever be the same for you in the rest of your life. I would like to talk about time expansion in the rest of the video and shape your mind, Neo. Some of the things you need to understand. First, when time is expanding, where it's not contracted and not distorted, every highs and lows can be taken as a reference pointed and counted, because markets are like a never-ending music. You can count from 1 and reach a significant number like 7, and then you can count again from the new reversal or expansion. Or you can start counting from 2 different time frames and follow 2 different countings at the same time by following the relationship between the harmony and the chaos. If you do backtest studies on this, I am sure you will witness great things and have a once you see it, you cannot unsee it moment, Neo. Also, please focus on the countings that don't work regarding to the basic sequence, because where the countings don't work are usually where the countings work in another time frame. As you try to be aware of this, you will understand the harmony and chaos relationship much better by counting candles during time expansions. I'm going to show a scene from a movie called Lucy. Here's the 5-minute chart on gold. I marked 2 areas on the chart where time is distorted inside the gray shaded area. Since time is distorted, that actually does not exist. We cannot talk about the existence of price, Neo. So we should think as if these shaded areas never existed and approach our candle countings with this logic. These shaded areas can of course be counted in themselves. If you remember, I said that there might be harmony in the chaos. I personally prefer not taking any trades in these areas where the time is distorted, and I would prefer waiting for the right time and catch relatively big movements by taking risk. That's a relatively larger portion of my capital, and make bigger profits, and keep my screen time to a minimum. I am very confident in this regard, because I have full control over what the price will do at what time. I know quite clearly in advance how many hours later I'm going to take the trade, and how many hours later I'm going to close the trade. I cropped the gray shaded areas, where the time is distorted on the chart, and created a new chart with this. This is exactly how you should approach to the relationship between time and price, Neo. We have a completely different chart compared to the other one on the left, and it really tells us a lot, and it should, because it is the universe and vibration itself. Imagine counting the candles on the chart that's right-hand side. What exactly do you see, Neo? What you need to see is actually the basic sequence that I told you about earlier. You should be able to see this basic sequence on the chart that's right-hand side. If you realize this, you will understand and experience how to deal with these areas on the charts, where the time is distorted while taking the trades. It is a truly unique feeling, and no mentor and trader in the ICT community can show you or teach you this, because they don't know it themselves. Yes, Neo. You have taken the biggest step on the way of understanding the great relationship between time and price. Please take notes and make some drawings onto a paper about what I have explained so far, so that everything will be in order in your mind. See you in the next video, Neo.